Hello, this is Jason Nemro again. This is IS 301 Introduction to Information Systems, Systematizing People. Does that sound horrible? Dehumanizing? Well, get used to it, you wonderful people. Let's talk about reality here. The reality that my computer runs a little slow. Monkey work. You might not understand this concept. Let me explain it to you. This is how life is going. So you might as well have a name for it and know about it. So maybe you can come up with some way to take care of it for yourself. Every system, and I've had the opportunity to study lots of systems in a lot of different circumstances. The whole point of a system is to make individual parts as interchangeable as you possibly can. When you have two companies or three or four competing to produce the same thing, the same product, wonderful things happen. Number one, the cost goes down, competition. All the forces of competition come together to make things better. Forces all the products to become better and all these things. Now you have to understand when we're using words like systems and products and competitors and different vendors, you can apply that to people too. And that's what we're doing here, of course. When we're talking about systemizing people, is that we want to do the same thing too. Monkey work is actually the act of breaking up every single thing that you need people to do in a job into little itty bitty pieces, making it all so it's all typed out, making sure that it's all just a bunch of small isolated tasks that nearly anybody can do, and stringing them back together and making kind of a recipe almost, so that people can easily follow it so that you can get consistent results. If you want to bake a cake, for instance, you take the recipe and hopefully you're decent at being able to follow a recipe. If you can, chances are you're going to come out with a very standardized cake. It's the cake that everybody else makes. And that's how systems would like almost everything within them, whether they're raw materials, whether they're finished pieces, anything like that, including people. They want them to be standardized. They want them to meet certain criteria. And that's what a lot of systemization has to do with, is making all this stuff happen. It's part and parcel with something called configuration management, which it gets talked about very little in this course, but hopefully in the future you will have a course on this subject. I don't know if we really have that here at Eastern, but there it is. What do you do? It's kind of new, and it's all the rage right now, so be ready for it. I've got certificates in it for all you people that are like impressed. Ooh, I've got certificates. Anyway, the whole point is that you treat people exactly the same way. They're just like any other part, any other process, anything else that needs to be done. And monkey work is rendering this stuff down so that you can have less skilled people actually doing what labor needs to be done by people, so you can have a larger pool of potential workers that can perform the role, and you don't have to pay them as much. Dehumanizing beyond all comprehension. Okay. That's monkey work. Now, do you feel like a cog in the machine? I know that's an old reference. That's back in the old days of when you were, working in some industrial age machine shop, and you felt like you could easily be popped in and you could be popped out and somebody else popped in to do what you do. And that's really the way it is. The modern organization is almost kind of driven to be this way. Welcome to competition. Everything starts looking a lot the same because of competition. You can't. It's really a strange animal. You think that this would create more variety, but it doesn't. It actually creates more conformity as you kill yourself trying to compete point by point with other companies that are basically doing the same thing. or producing the same product or whatever. Okay, so the first rule of it is always to automate as much of the process as possible, because people are expensive. People will be the most expensive thing that you ever do in business. So you want to automate as much of that, of the work that needs to be done as possible, so that you can get cheaper people or fewer people or less skilled people to do that job. You make the jobs as task-based as you possibly can, so that you can just make the job basically a list of instructions. You know, I used to have things all wound up in a couple of jobs I had. You had daily tasks, you had weekly tasks and monthly tasks. And it was just this big, it looked like a laundry list. And as long as you got all those things done, you were doing your job fine. They were happy. And it required very little brains at all, you know. And sometimes you get tired of that after a while. You know, you guess as God gave me brains. So I don't mean to reference God here, but anyway, something gave you brains, and you kind of want to use them, maybe, or maybe you don't. Maybe you don't care. There's a lot of people like that too, I suppose. Anyway, so the whole point is to properly define these things down to a really infinitesimal degree, so that you can put almost anybody in there. If you can read and you can basically understand what's being said, and they put it in the most simple terms that they can, you can get the job done. It's monkey work, and it makes it so that you as a person, as a worker, can be easily replaced. Now, if you're a manager, that makes your job a lot easier, because then you don't have to find particularly skilled labor. You can get relatively unskilled people to come in, as long as they can read and as long as they can do what they're told. And the system tells you what to do. So there you go. If you feel like a cog in a machine, there it is. Hey. Now, okay. If you guys are taking these management classes, to be honest, I have advanced degrees in management, and some days I want to be a manager, some days I don't. Let me tell you a few things that have helped me to handle the worthless kind of feeling that sometimes systematizing people does to you. Because almost everything is being rendered into monkey work. As much as it can be done, it's being done. The larger the organization is, probably the more rendering down to monkey work you're going to see. Here's some things you can do. Number one, keep adding to your skill set. Yeah, you can either go broad, where you have capacity in a whole lot of skills, in a whole lot of areas. That makes you useful over a wide band of things. This is especially useful for managers. Okay, broad. Okay, now there are other people who choose to go deep. They're wonderful, more the engineering technical types who really want to get into the guts and know what's going on for real. Those people will always be needed. So, and the more you're needed, the less like monkey work your job tends to be, especially when people don't really understand what's going on, what's happening. Okay, identify your talents and work to better them. Make sure this thing fits you. That's tricky, and I don't know how to tell you how to figure out what your talents are. You know, I've written a book on trying to figure that out. It's called The Psychology. Well, anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. You can go look it up. Okay, it's on Amazon. Go look it up. Make yourself increasingly useful within the organizational framework. That really has to do with a whole lot of just life. This is, if you really want to keep your job, and if you want that job to be relevant over time, make sure that you are fitting into the organizational framework. If you don't like being a monkey worker, you need to be the person that helps systematize the system. There's always going to be work for people who help render difficult jobs into simple, broken down steps that can be followed by nearly anybody. And sometimes it's just that you can't handle being in an organization, so you need to become an entrepreneur. There it is. Whole classes to be found on how to be an entrepreneur. Well, anyway, it's Jason Emerald. Have a wonderful day. Learn a lot. Don't be systematized. It's no fun. Talk to you later. Bye.